And to start, go ahead and lie back heavy on your spine. Recline all the way down and onto your mat, and you can keep your knees pointing towards the ceiling, or even walk your feet wide and let your knees knock in. Close your eyes and take a few moments of slow, deep breath. Noticing the weight of the backs of your shoulders getting heavier towards the ground. Welcoming in the inhale slowly through your nose. And sending the exhale out through your nose. If you haven't already, go ahead and move into your Ujjayi breath. That steady, slow, in and out through your nose. It's paired with your soft out belly. Moving into an enhanced sound you can follow. Then point your knees back towards the ceiling. Move your arms to wide and open, stretching your fingertips to the side of the mat and pressing down through the backs of your arms. Then take your heels and send them straight up towards the ceiling. If you have a block handy, you might squeeze that block between your inner thighs. Try to keep your torso looking straight towards the ceiling, and we'll just move the feet, even strengthening the back of the shoulders. As you inhale, move your feet a few inches or a few feet over towards the right. As you exhale, come back through the middle. Move your feet a few inches or a few feet over towards the left. Press into the back of your left arm to stabilize the shoulder. Then come back to the middle. If you want more, take the feet further to the right as you inhale. Press into the back of the right forearm. Then come back through center. Move your feet over and towards the left. Press into the left forearm. Then back through center. Couple more times. Feet go over towards the right. Feel your waistline knit in. Stabilize through your right shoulder. Then come back up. Press down into the left shoulder as you move the feet over and towards the left. Then come right back through the middle. Last one. Feet go over to the right. Press into the right arm. Then come back up. Press into the left arm as you move the feet over towards the left. Then come back up. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. You can take the knees in some circles, massaging the lower back. Circling the opposite way. If you're going side to side, switch to in and out. Knees coming towards you and away. Then rock up and down the length of your spine, building momentum. Then come forward into tabletop position, hands and knees. Hands right beneath your shoulders, knees right beneath your hips. On your inhale, tip your tail up, reach your ribcage out and forward as you arch. As you exhale, look in towards the belly and you round. Inhale as you arch the spine. Exhale as you round the spine. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Come right back through the middle, find a sturdy core. Walk your hands out to forward. Take your outer arms and turn them out and down towards the floor. Small external rotation. And allow your forehead to now get heavier down towards the mat. You can keep the arms extended or bring your palms to kiss and point those fingers towards the ceiling as you press firmly down through the elbows. Bottom of the ribs knitting in if you tend to spill towards the floor. Lift up a little middle, looking towards the hands if they're down, or looking towards the elbows if they're not. Then walk your elbows or your hands over and towards the right. Keep your outer left hip level with your right. And once again, release the forehead down towards the floor. Welcoming that deep, slow breath. Come right to the middle, lift up some. Then go all the way over and towards the opposite left side. Elbows can walk or hands might be extended out to long. Feeling your breath moving through the body. Feeling that length through the rib cage. And that small toning of the waistline, that lift in of the lower core. Come back through center on the inhale. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under and elevate the hips back to high for downward facing dog. Glue into all 10 fingers. Lengthen the outer shoulders, but widen that space closest to your ears, feeling broad as the collarbones move away and wide. You want to pedal the heels side to side, breathing into one calf at a time. You're definitely invited. Imagining your waistline getting longer as the hips stretch back and up. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Take as many steps as you need to bring your feet forward to meet your hands. On the inhale, find your halfway lift, hands to the thighs, the floor, the blocks. As you exhale, bow back into your legs, forward fold. Press into your feet, circle your arms all the way up as you stretch tall. Then guide your hands down and into your heart. On your inhale, circle the arms up, stretch tall. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Bend the knees if that's helpful. As you exhale, plant your palms down and shift it back into plank. Lowering to the belly or halfway down, chaturanga. Ribs are reaching out forward, core in. Press away from the earth, upward facing dog, and widen your shoulder tops as you press down. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. And pedal the heels again if that feels right, or this time embrace the stillness. Let the breath then feel the length through the neck as you allow the top of the head to get heavier towards the space between your hands. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or walk. If you'd like, you might hop your feet lightly to the hands. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, bow into fold. Circle the arms all the way up to tall. We'll stretch up with the hands. As you exhale, bring your hands inwards into your heart. Bring your toes all the way to kiss. Draw the backs of the thighs back and stretch the arms either forward or up. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs, forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. As you exhale, step back with your left foot. Left hand stays on the mat. Take your right hand up and towards the ceiling, turning this into a twist. Then bold range of motion with your shoulder, moving that top arm around in space. Ensure that you reach back as well as behind, not just overhead here. Switch directions, circle the arm the opposite way. This time maybe focusing As your arm comes forward, let your right shoulder blade move away from the spine and out. And you keep your torso in place as you move the shoulder blade more. Good. Then release your hand down and towards the earth, square off. Crescent lunge. Lift all the way up to tall, rising long through your waist. Abdomen draws in. Bring your hands to your heart as you tip just halfway forward. Inhale, stretch the arms up. You might reach back, feeling that tug of length on your left hip crease. As you exhale, lean forward, draw your core in. Once more, inhale, reach up, maybe you reach back. As you exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up again. Release your hands down and towards the earth. Shift back and into your plank position. Come to the tips of your toes and lower halfway down or to the abdomen. Press away from the earth for upward facing dog, shoulders draw back. As you exhale, downward facing dog, hips go back to high. On your inhale, lift with your inner left thigh. As you exhale, bring the foot forward and in between your hands. Right hand stays glued down, left hand stretches up towards the ceiling. Taking those arm circles, rotating the arm around in space. Noticing that option to reach behind you, as well as back in towards your back heel. Noticing what's available to the shoulder. Switch direction, circling the arm the opposite way. This time, notice as the hand comes forward and towards your left heel, that you also might be able to encourage your shoulder blade to wrap away from the spine, like it's going to come outwards around towards the outer edge of your arm. Then release the hand back down and towards the earth, rise back up for crescent, lengthening through both sides of your waist. Draw your abdomen in as you bring your hands in towards the heart, tipping forward. On your inhale, reach up. Maybe you reach back for that in the hip crease. Then as you lean forward, practice widening shoulder taps, just dropping that effort of the upper traps. Once more, relax jaw, fingertips reach back. As you exhale, wide shoulders, loose teeth. As you inhale, stretch your arms up. As you exhale, release the hands down towards your mat. Bring your back foot forward to meet your front, bow into fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow back in. Toes touching one another, backs of the thighs draw back, arms stretch either forward or up. As you exhale, stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Hips draw back, arms stretch up, chair pose. Bow forward to your legs, forward fold. Inhale, spine extend, soft bend to the knees if you need it. Exhale, step back with that right foot. Right hand on the earth, take your left hand, stretch it up as you twist. As you exhale, release the hand down to the earth. Inhale for crescent, reaching it up, perhaps reaching lightly behind. Exhale, strong core, widen the tops of the shoulders as you lean forward. Inhale, reach your arms up, maybe you reach them back. Exhale, lean forward, core is on and strong. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, tip forward. Inhale, stretch all the way up. Release the hands down and towards the earth, shift back to plank. Option for your chaturanga, lowering halfway to the floor, keeping the neck long. Upward facing dog, pressing the tops of the feet. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. On, lift your right inner thigh. Exhale, bring the foot forward in between your hands. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches up as you twist. Exhale, release it down and towards the mat. Crescent lunge, inhale, reaches you up. Exhale, forward, wide collarbones. Inhale, maybe reach back. Core is strong. If you hover yourself forward, outer right hip reaches back. Once more, arms sweep. Exhale, the hands to the heart as you tip forward. Inhale all the way up. Release your hands down and towards the mat. Take your back foot, step it forward to meet your front. That would fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, bow back in. Toes touch one another. Backs of the hips draw back. Arms stretch up or forward. Then stand to tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Option here to find a block if you have it on hand, or you also might just reach your hands forward. Reaching those hands straight out and away from your torso. Walk your feet so they're right underneath the hips, creating a nice little balance. Then broaden the tops of your shoulders away from your ears like you're dropping your shoulder blade tips down the back. Keep your shoulder blade tips down, but slide your fingers forward or reach the block forward like you're widening and spreading the scapula. Then keeping that sensation of the scapula, the shoulder blades wide, lift the hands higher like you're lifting them up towards the ears. Then move your shoulder blade tips back and towards one another. Then slide your shoulder blade tips down the back again while they're in a squeeze. And inhale, hands reach forward, shoulder blades spread. Hands reach forward, shoulder blades lift. Shoulder blades slide back, down, back and together. Then slide them together and down. One, fingertips reach forward. Hands lift, shoulders lift. Shoulder blades slide backward like you're going to tap. Keeping them together, slide your shoulder blade tips down. Ooh, relax your hands down by your sides, fingertips heavy towards the floor. Take a round of cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Bring your toes to touch one another. Draw the backs of your thighs back. Stretch your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, bow forward to your legs. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Extend the spine. Exhale, plant your palms down and shift all the way back into your plank position. Lower all the way down onto the floor. Take your right elbow out like a cactus arm, so you're coming into that extended position. Elbows about the height of the shoulder. Then roll over and onto your outer right hip, so you're finding that stretch on the mat, on the earth. Chest stretch on the right side. If you want to press into the floor with your forearm, creating a little active resistance. Doing lots of push-ups at home, you might be feeling that chest. And come back to the floor. Let your forehead rest and take your right hand and reach it backwards towards the outer edge of your right hip. Flip your palm to look towards the ceiling, thumb turns in towards the hip. Then float your right hand above the back. Noticing the tendency to drop the back of the hand down, keep lifting, then reach your fingertips higher toward your shoulder blades. Take one more breath. Release that. Take the hand down and towards the earth. Downward facing dog. Exhale back up to high. On your inhale, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, bring that right foot forward and in between your hands. Crescent lunge. Inhale, reach all the way up to tall. Option to draw the hands towards the heart as you come forward and into your warrior three. Or reach your hands out to forward if that's heavy in your lower spine, horizontal and supportive. If that's there, work the shoulders. Flip the pinkies to look towards the floor. Try to drive the thumbs up towards the ceiling. Keeping the hands facing one another in that small outward turn for a slow breath. Step it back, inhale. As you exhale, open up the arms for warrior two. Straighten out that front leg. Flip your toes to look to the side of the mat. Circle the arms up. As you exhale, bind your hands now behind the back. Lengthen the knuckles down and towards the floor. Allow your chin to draw inwards towards your chest. Rotate your right ear over to the right shoulder. Keep pressing into both sides of both feet. As you exhale, draw your chin back into your throat. Rotate your left ear to go over to the left shoulder. Then draw your chin back into your throat. Take your right ear over to your right. Chin to your chest. Left ear over towards the left. And into your chest. Restack ears over the shoulders. Keep a small bend to your elbows. Let your chest come forward. And if you want to stay here halfway lifted, that's great. Your exercise might be one of strength, moving the hands away from the hips actively. If you would like to, drop the top of your head towards the floor and feel gravity do some work on the shoulders, great. Imagine isometrically pulling the hands apart so the shoulder fronts of the shoulders set back. Use the strength of your center to rise all the way up to top. Release the hands from behind you. Rotate your toes to look out and drop your hips low for your goddess squat. And take your hands and wrap your right hand around to the outside of your outer left hip or to the lower back. Take your left hand and move it over towards that thigh on that right leg. Draw your chin down and in towards your chest, then sweep with your chin. Inhale, rotate your forehead to go heavy towards your front left shoulder. As you exhale, rotate your forehead to go heavy towards your back right shoulder. Chin sweeps across the chest and looks forward and towards that left shoulder. Chin sweeps across the chest and goes forward and towards that back shoulder. Once more, chin sweeps, working through the back of the head. Chin sweep towards the back of the mat. And come back through center, nice neutral neck, arms go long. Straighten out the legs. Then circle your arms down and towards the earth. Shift it back into your plank position. Lower all the way down and onto your abdomen. This time, take your left forearm long, cactusing the arm. Notice that elbow right at the height of the shoulder. Then roll over and onto your outer left hip. Pressing into the floor with the left forearm. You want that active stretch. As you welcome the mobility of the chest, you also might imagine here a freedom of the expression of the heart. You can walk the forearm further away. And then come all the way back onto the abdomen. Rest the forearm on the floor. Take that left hand and stretch it down by the side of your left hip. Rotate the palm to face the ceiling. Thumb turns inwards towards your hip. Then reach your hand away and up the upper back. Noticing that that hand gets really heavy towards the low back or really heavy towards the shoulder blade. Keep the hand lifted for strength. And try to wiggle those fingers higher up towards the base of the scapula, the shoulder blade. Let that go. Bring the hand back underneath your shoulders. Elevate the hips back to high for downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift with your left leg. As you exhale, bring the left foot forward and through between your hands. On your inhale, crescent lunge, lift it all the way up to tall. As you exhale, bring your hands to the heart if you wish, or keep your arms extended as you press into your left foot and float up that back right thigh. As you stand on one leg and stretch the arms overhead, you might imagine driving the thumbs towards the ceiling while keeping the lower abdomen in. Let this be a reflection of the strength of the shoulders as the palms face one another. Small external rotation, but hands keep lifting, feeling that strength of the shoulder blades nestling into the back. And step it back, inhale. As you exhale, open it up for warrior two. Straighten out that front leg, rotate your toes to look to the side, bind your hands behind the back. Then lengthen the knuckles towards the floor, opposite thumb crosses on top. Let your chin drop down and in towards your chest. Inhale, roll your left ear over to your left shoulder. Then bring your chin back into your throat. Rotate that right ear over to the right shoulder. Then bring your chin back into your throat. Take your left ear over to the left. Chin back to the chest. Right ear over to the right. Then chin back to your chest. Inhale, left ear goes over to the left. Chin back to your throat. Right ear over to the right. And chin to chest. Restack the ears over the shoulders. You might go halfway down and hover your hands away from the hips, like you're pulling the hands away from one another, but keeping the palms knitting in. Small bend to the elbows. Same expression of the shoulders if you're taking the chest forward. Allowing the top of your head to draw down. Even feeling the tractioning long to the muscles of the neck. You can relax the jaw or open and close the mouth wide a few times. Use the strength of your setter to rise all the way up to tall. Flip the toes to look out to the side, dropping the hips low for goddess squat. Circle the arms up on the in, then twist the spine, taking that left hand behind the back or even to the outer hip. Opposite hand comes over to the top of the thigh, then chin down and in towards your chest. Chin sweeps, rotate the chin to look forward towards the front shoulder, forehead's heavy, chin's in. As you exhale, back to the throat. Chin and forehead rotate to look towards the back shoulder, then into the throat. Gazing towards the front shoulder, chin down and in, forehead heavy. Then in and towards the chest. Forehead towards the back shoulder. Then down and into the chest. Forehead to the front. Back into your throat. Forehead to the back. Then back into the throat. Restack the ears over the shoulders. Straighten out the legs as you reach up. Then circle your hands to the top of the mat and shift it back into your plank position. Option to take a slow chaturanga, halfway down or all the way down. Press away from the earth and into upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, hips go back up to high. Lift the heels, bend the knees, take as many steps as you like. Maybe it's a hop forward to the top of your mat. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend the spine. As you exhale, bow back into fold. Draw the hips back, toes kissing, arms stretch forward or up. Then stand to tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Once again, stretch your hands forward. You can hold a block between your hands if that's helpful and you have it on hand. Relax the top of your shoulders down. This time we'll go in reverse. Feel that broadening across the clavicles and slide your shoulder blade tips back in together like they're gonna tap. Then lift those squeezing shoulder blades up, still holding them back. Stretch forward, feel the shoulder blades spread apart while they're lifted. Then slide the shoulder blade tips down, and that one's usually the trickiest section, that spread and descent. Move your shoulder blade tips back as you inhale. As you exhale, lift the shoulders up, shoulder blades stay back. Inhale, slide forward, beginning your protraction. And soften the shoulder blade tips down as you keep that spread. Once more, draw your shoulder blades back. And keep them back and lift them up. Reach your fingertips forward and wide. And slide those wide shoulder blades down the back. Relax your hands down by your sides. Take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Bring the toes to kiss. Draw the backs of the thighs back. Stretch the arms up. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs. Forward fold. On your inhale, halfway lift, extend. Exhale, plant your palms. Shift back to plank, hold, pause. Take that position of widening the collarbones again. Pressing into the floor, feel your shoulder blades spread as they descend, that tricky variation. Then lift your right foot away from the floor. As you exhale, bring your right knee over towards your shoulder, towards the elbow, maybe it taps. On your inhale, stretch the toes back. As you exhale, place the foot down. On your inhale, lift that left foot up. As you exhale, bring the knee over to tap. Inhale, stretch the toes back. Then set the foot back down. Inhale, lift your right foot. Exhale, hug the knee up towards the tricep or towards the shoulder. Inhale, stretch the foot back. And set the foot down. Inhale, lift the left foot. Exhale, tap the knee. Inhale, stretch the toes back. And lower the foot down. Downward facing dog. Hips go back, hips are high. On your inhale, lift your right leg. As you exhale, bring the right foot forward and through in between your hands. Crescent lunge. Inhale, stretch to tall. As you exhale, warrior three. Hands can be at the heart. Maybe those hands are reaching forward. Crescent lunge. Inhale. As you exhale, warrior two. Open it up again. Straighten out the front leg. Rotate the toes to look towards the side as you reach up. As you exhale, bind the hands behind the back. Lengthen the knuckles down and towards the floor. Draw your chin towards your chest. On your inhale, rotate your left ear to your left shoulder. As you exhale, draw your chin back to your throat. Rotate the right ear over to your right shoulder. Then chin back into your throat. Fold the ears right over the shoulders. Release the hands. As you exhale, rotate the toes out. You can bring the hands to the heart. Couple options here. You can stay high and lifted, or take your hands down into the floor. If your hands are on the floor, one option might be to start to shift the weight from side to side, practicing lifting the heel up and wide, strengthening that space of the outer hips. Different opportunity as you come over and onto that weight into your back left leg, and you lift the heel, then start to tip your hip over and towards the left side of your mat. Then instead of doing those leg lifts, you might do little cartwheels side to side with the hips. Coming into your handstand crab. With that knee variation, even working that strength of shoulders. Try just one more breath. Then come back through your center for your goddess squat. Arms stretch all the way up. You can straighten out the legs. As you exhale, release your hands down and towards the mat. Shift back into your plank. Slow chaturanga if that speaks to you, lowering halfway or all the way down. Upward facing dog, maybe cobra. Then downward facing dog, hips go back to high. Lift your left leg on your inhale. As you exhale, bring the left foot forward in between the hands. Crescent lunge, inhale, rising up to top. As you exhale, lean forward for warrior three, abdomen on. Crescent lunge, inhale. As you exhale, open it up for warrior two. Straighten out your front leg, rotate the toes to look to the side, in breath. As you exhale, bind your hands behind the back, lengthening the knuckles towards the floor. Let your chin gather in and towards your chest. On your inhale, roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. As you exhale, bring your chin back into your throat. Rolling your left ear, right ear to your right shoulder. Then chin goes back in and towards your throat. Lift the ears right over the shoulders. Stretch your arms up. Inhale. As you exhale, toes go out, hips drop low. Same opportunity. You can stay in this goddess squat, really feeling into the strength of the thighs. Or bring your hands to the earth and strengthen outer hips as you lift the heel side to side. Hands can transfer in front of each foot as you do that lifting. Or if you're feeling inclined to use the strength of the shoulders to investigate your handstand, that tip of the hips to the side, that knee, might be your exploration, turning this into some more cartwheeling hops. If you find in the middle, you pause for a moment. Playing with that game is an opportunity. Notice if one shoulder or the other takes more weight. Then come back to the center, hips drop low, arms stretch up, rising up. Circle your hands down towards the earth and shift back into your plank. Slow chaturanga. You can lower halfway or all the way. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Hips go back up to high. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step, walk, or even hop lightly your feet to the hands. On your inhale, find your halfway lift. As you exhale, bow back into fold. Circle the arms all the way up, we'll stretch to tall. Then guide your hands down and into your heart. Close your eyes and feel your breath traveling through the body. Witnessing that sound and that feeling of breath. And any truth, any honesty, any satya that bubbles to the surface when you get still. When you're alone with breath. And then take your peace sign fingers and find the muscles at the back of the jaw. You can open and close the mouth a few times, feeling the space move. And as you press into with your peace sign fingers, you might even go up and down, going across the crane. It gets a little gritty in there. Or take some circles, massaging that space. And you decide the degree of pressure, as well as the position of your head, but it's pretty common to bring the face forward to meet your hands, rather than to bring the hands to meet the face, keeping the neck long. Then press into the degree that feels reasonable for you. Hold your pressure, and as you inhale, open the mouth wide. And as you exhale, close the jaw. Inhale, spread the mouth. As you exhale, close it. Once more, inhale. And as you exhale, close the jaw. Relax your hands down by your sides, Tadasana, mountain pose. Feeling the impact there in the jaw and even in the neck. On your inhale, circle the arms out, stretch tall. As you exhale, bow forward to your legs and fold. On your inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, step back with your left foot. You can keep your back thigh high for a little more strength, or soften your back knee down and towards the earth, runner's lunge. You can stay right here or lower the elbows down towards the floor, placing them to the floor on a block. Perhaps you'd like to turn this into a quad stretch, reaching behind you to hold that left foot. Mindful that your right knee is there right over your right ankle, not spilling wide, not beyond the toes. Option to really turn this into a chest stretch and embrace some external rotation by thumb pointing towards the ceiling, palm on the pinky side of the foot. One more alternative, if you want to work with an arm balance, bring your hands in closer. Walk your right elbow and tricep underneath your right hamstring. Walk the left hand in line with that palm. Then bending your right knee to the side, balancing there on the forearms, lift up through that back right leg. A few options to play with. Can you take whatever variation you've chosen, even quad stretch or your hurdler's pose, without clenching the jaw? Even staying mindful of the neck and the position you've selected. Then let go of that position. Release the hands down and towards the earth. Fire up your back leg. Malasana squat. Drop your hips low. Bring your back foot forward. Hands can now be in at the heart. If you're pressing the knees wide, instead think of the knees moving open by the strength of the outer hips. That might create extra space for the tops of your shoulders to let go of some of its effort. Then release your hands down and towards the earth, shift the hips slightly up. Take your right foot this time and step it back. You can keep your back thigh lifted or even lower the forearms down to the earth. Option to take your quad stretch by circling your right hand, left hand around to hold that right foot. Check in with your shoulders. Does the front of your right shoulder tend to spill inwards, coming towards your inner left heel? If that's the case, can you press it back? Usually helpful to find a small external rotation, like your elbow crease is going to look towards the top right corner of your mat. If you're working into that arm balance, that hurdler posture, note here how you hold the jaw and even the placement of the head. Sometimes we really soften the forehead down. Sometimes we jet the chin forward. We're looking for neutral. We're looking for breath. Letting the impact of the practice be more about how you handle the situation rather than the situation itself. And then release that, let it go, fire up your back leg. And bring your back foot forward, drop the hips low, Malasana squat. Small lift to the pelvic floor. It can be some of that nice training of engagement. I know when my pelvic floor is on, and also I know when it's relaxed. And if what you find when you try to lift the pelvic floor is that it's really strong and engaged all of the time, that can still be impactful in a way that's uncomfortable for you. So you might even let it go for a moment, let it relax before re-engaging, or just practice relaxing sometimes. Then release your hands down and towards the earth. Soften your hips down and towards the earth too. Rotate your knees now to look straight towards the ceiling. Draw your core on, then recline slowly all the way down your back. Take your right arm and bind it underneath your left, bringing your palms to kiss. Then think of spreading the scapula again. So in order to feel that, you might let your shoulder blades go down and together into the floor. Then slide them down the back. Then keeping those shoulder blade tips down or your collarbones open, try to lift your forearms up towards the ceiling. Then take your right leg and wrap it around your left leg like you're in a Gurudasana position on the earth. Keep your low back pinned towards the floor, and if your low back starts to lift, then you'll stop right there, stay a little higher. Otherwise, low back down, reach your fingers overhead, and imagine tapping those left toes to the earth. As you exhale, bring the knees and the elbows closer together. Just two more, but doing these really intentionally. Toes tap, fingers reach. As you exhale, knees in, elbows towards the knees. Once more, a nice slow Gurudasana crunch. Then hug it in. Yes, and open it up with the arms, but keep your legs bound. Take your knees over towards the right side of your mat and shift your hips lightly over towards the left, finding a twist. If that's too much in your lower spine, especially if you feel that in the area of the sacrum, do less. And that might mean unraveling the legs or placing a block or a pillow between your inner thighs. Noticing what you find here in terms of the breath. Noticing what you find here in terms of sensation. Then observe also what you find in the realm of perception. Are there any judgments being overlaid on the experience? And then undo that, come back to your center, unravel the legs if you're not already there, and place your feet back on the floor. This time, bind the opposite arm, bind the left arm underneath your right, and the right arm underneath your left if you already did that one. Then slide your shoulder blade tips down, just like you practiced. Then lift the forearms up and feel almost like your shoulder blades are trying to scoop underneath your elbows. This is a pretty difficult action for most of us. We have to do a lot of mental training just to get the shoulder blade to be like, oh, that's what you want. Then take the opposite bind to the leg. So left leg over the right this time. Lift the knees away from the earth. Already did this side, we'll do the other. As you inhale, keep your low back on the earth. Reach the fingers overhead, almost like you're hitting something to the floor with the low back as the toe tap. And as you exhale, hug it in. Draw your elbows and knees closer together. Inhale, reach the hands up and overhead. You can tap the toes. As you exhale, hug it in. Inhale, reach the toes, reach the fingers. Then hug that all in. Let just the arms go as you soften. Then move your hips slightly towards the right and move your knees over and towards the left. Then just like before, notice what's here. And notice if you're making any part of what's here right now for you wrong or bad. And you're not necessarily being asked to make another choice, but you observe if that is your tendency. And you might even question if that tendency is a necessity right now. Observing if it's possible that there isn't any wrongness about your experience. And bring your knees back through center. Undo the legs if you had the bind. Then bring your knees in and towards the chest, and we'll just rock up and down the length of your spine. Then rock forward and find a comfortable seat. You can sit up and on something like a blanket or a block. Good. Rest the tops of the shoulders away from the ears and lift up to the top of your head. We'll finish with a round of breath. And this particular breath is very interesting. You might have to play with it a little bit, but it's the idea that we're not going to emphasize the exhale. And sometimes the instruction might be, don't exhale. Rather, we're going to allow the exhale to kind of come out of the body, almost like it's radiating out the surface of your skin. And there's some experimentation in allowing that to happen. Close your eyes and breathe everything out to start. Then inhale for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. Then without trying to hold the breath, don't try to force the exhale out either. And instead just imagine the exhale is lifting out of you or even dissolving slowly. And breathe in again for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Find that pause, then soften the pause and let the exhale dissolve and widen out the surface of your skin. Absolutely no push on the exhale. Inhale, breathe in for 5. And feel the exhale happen as a widening. There might be sound on the inhale as you breathe in for 5. And almost no sound or no sound at all on the exhale. Try a relaxed jaw and relaxed shoulders the whole way. Inhale, breathe in for 5. And let the exhale widen out of the body. No force, no sound, no effort. Three more rounds. Inhale for 5. Feel that non-push on the exhale. Inhale for 5. Feel the spread and the widen of the exhale. Inhale for 5. And feel the softening and the spreading of the exhale. And when you feel complete with that breath, go ahead and find savasana. Lie all the way down and onto your spine or back. Let the body drop its effort. And you might imagine that the body is doing something similar to that exhale exercise, that it's not necessarily trying to force your rest. Not trying to create that stillness or force or even rigidly hold to it. No holding here. Rather, that this rest is also a dissolving, a spreading out. A widening of awareness or a widening of perception. If you've picked up any effort or if you've started to make any piece of this or you wrong, notice that there is effort happening. Judgments being made. Not needing to decide differently right now, but noticing if that's there. As well as noticing if the opposite is there. Is goodness there? Is rightness there? Wake the body up with a few slow, deep breaths. You can move the hands or the feet. Or bring the fingertips to touch the skin or your clothing. And roll to one side. Press all the way up and into the seat of your choice. Touch your hands lightly in front of your heart. And bowing the forehead down to the fingers. I bow to you. Namaste. Thanks, y'all. It was so good to see your faces.